Hi Leo, here is a general look at your solar chart for September 2015, and there's been some really lovely sociable energy swirling around in your sun sign, Leo, for quite a while. You've had Venus in there since June the 6th, and also now you have Mars there if you listen to this in August. And this energy is allowing you to reach out, make the right sort of connections with others, just kind of light and warm connections maybe. Also, but maybe it's not like that. Maybe, you know, if you are keep yourself to yourself more, then this allows you to appreciate things, to appreciate what you've got maybe around you, or what you're putting your hands to, or what you're getting busy with, or it might be to do with the arts, and Venus being very much the sign, the planet that rules the arts. It might be like that as well. But whatever it's also the planet that rules money and resources and property and possessions. So these have all been quite well starred for a while now. And you know, as and when it reaches the degree which are important points in your chart, you will feel that energy. So even though these, well, Venus at least has been there for quite some time, maybe it will be just ticking away in the background, just sort of taking the edge off things mostly. Somebody doing you a favor, something nice coming to you sort of in the pipeline. But then when Venus comes across your degree of your sun, or maybe another planet, that's when maybe something could really land in your lap and it's like, wow, this is good, this is cool. So it could be like that. There's a very practical feel with the position of the sun up until the 23rd. Finances, goods, property, or anything which affects your material security, that's going to be very much center stage. It's going to be about stuff, the paraphernalia of life. It might be somebody else's stuff as well, and how you can protect it, maintain it, repair it, move it, ditch it, and get your hands on more. How to improve things in a practical way maybe, or looking at the piggy bank, or looking at the space, or looking at a venue, or looking at DIYing, or it can be, you know, those material, physical sort of facets and angles and aspects of life. And then Mercury is in a very outgoing, chatty area of your solar chart, does go retrograde from the 17th. However, those of you that follow this online astrology stuff will know that the retrograde means it slows down, that maybe there's postponements, delays, maybe somebody gets the wrong end of the stick, maybe it is physically to do with the internet, it might be to do with communications equipment as well. And that kind of, you know, getting you tearing your hair out. But overall, it tends to be a great time for making connections again, keeping your ear to the ground, finding out stuff, learning and sharing new stuff in person or over the wires, and also maybe consulting with somebody, or somebody wanting to consult with you, somebody wanting your knowledge as well. It can be like that. Venus and Mars are in the same position in your sign. Venus there in this sort of in this very gregarious mood, sociable, boosting the love life maybe for some of you, helping with close relationships, meeting the world with more of a smile, with more ease, with more in a more relaxed sort of a way, maybe, but also seeing beautiful things around you, having more to do with maybe retail therapy, shopping more, and actually getting some nice stuff. But because it's been there for so long, maybe even getting fed up with having to do all this shopping, who knows? Can you ever get, yes, I think you can actually. Depends on what kind of shopping it is, doesn't it? So it might be like that, but you mixing and mingling and feeling quite sort of relaxed and easy about that with Venus in your sign, particularly driving home her message because she's in there for quite a long time. Good news for business, good news for, did I say your love life? Yes, I think I did. partnerships, personal life, family. It tends to be good news. Tends to smooth things over, you know, and boost morale, maybe the self-image, you know, improving that, having a makeover. Definitely on the list when Venus is in your sign, particularly for this length of time. It's very rare occurrence. So, and generally, maybe the feel-good factor, you know, bien dans sa peau, feeling good in your skin, that kind of thing. It's a good time to work with this energy to your advantage, in whatever way you deem to be appropriate. Yeah, it's very nice energy to have, potentially lucrative energy as well, but might have you putting your hand in your pocket an awful lot more than you would do normally, because, oh my God, you know, things are just going to appeal to you so much more, or you go for that big thing that you've always wanted, you know, that sort of feeling with it. Mars is in here as well, can be a bit hasty. It's a bit like Barbie and Ken, you know. Ken is very testosterone driven, very sort of, well, I was going to say raunchy. Can be. Actually, it can be with Venus and Mars together. You never know your luck. But it can be kind of, yeah, these two together can be quite passionate, quite sizzly, you know. Or it can mean, you know, that you are seen as attractive. You are seen as appealing. So as I say, work the energy, in whichever way, you know, in a business way or in a personal life way. You know, don't push it. Just, you see, Mars can mean that you push. And you got to see, apply that pushiness of Ken, Mars, in the right sort of a place. So if it's enhancing your life, if it's producing a resource for you that you're really enjoying, then okay, get out there with the, you know, the rake and the hoe and the shovel and whatever it's called, the spade, and go for it, as it were, metaphorically speaking, or it might be literally, because this is bringing things towards you which can enhance your life, which can improve your life, which can, you know, maybe even literally put food on the table. I mean, it might be like that, or it might be something more aesthetically stimulating. Well, not more aesthetic, because food on the table is very aesthetically stimulating, but I mean, it might be something more, it might be something else. So some of you will get plunged into situations which demand assertiveness, which demand your energy, your physical energy, and leadership, you know, and get you working harder. So, you know, we don't want that there, we want that shoved over there, you know, and literally pushing and shoving things around. It might be like that, or it might be that you've got a lot of hustle and bustle going on around you, etc. Now, you do have the sun in this area to do with stuff. And then you've got Mars and Venus very much in your sign. Mars is moving out of there. The sun moves out of the area to do with stuff on the 23rd. And Mars moves into the area to do with the stuff on the 25th. So you get more emphasis on that area, even though the sun moves into this very sort of area which is very sociable and connecting with others, and maybe flitting around in your head more, or flitting around physically, you know, hither and thither more. Mars is demanding more effort and decisiveness, getting organized in this material sense, in this physical sense, you know, repairs, maintenance, territory that you've got to maintain, protect, repair, pack away, organize, declutter from, sort out, get your hands on more, rearrange, whatever it is. And it might not be like that at all. It might be just the piggy bank. It might be putting your heads together with somebody, and very much with Venus in your sign, there will be that support there. And maybe you're not used to it, so maybe you've just got to reach out for it, because you know what, in astrology, I mean, if you get Venus in your sign for this long, it does mean that there will be something there, or somebody there to facilitate and enable you. Okay, so, you know, knock and the door will open, as it were, but you've got to knock on the right door, of course. So, okay, so now we have this need to get hands-on with, in a practical sense, with things when Mars moves. but even before Mars moves, because the Sun was already there. Mars just makes it more like tiring you out, really. And you could be more actively engaged in diet or health matters, or things to do with exercise, you know, that kind of thing. Although it sounds as though you might be getting at least mentally exercised over this, if not physically, probably physically exercised. And anything related to basic material possessions, stuff, security, finances, property is a big one as well. Actual venue or a space, your space, somebody else's space, maybe you're changing spaces. It can be like that. The Sun moves on the 23rd, so you meeting and greeting more, maybe connecting maybe over the wires, and just generally, you know, that smile on your face, because Venus is around. Venus is in the mix, and that does tend to mean that these won't be you know, heavy connections with others. It would tend to be sort of maybe quite surface. You know, maybe you think underneath, oh, I'd like a bit more out of this. But on the other hand, it depends on what's going on in your natal chart anyway. So I couldn't really say that for certain. Saturn does return to Sagittarius, coming out of the root of your chart, and all of this time where it's been over the last 2.5 years of maybe skeletons in the closet, maybe dust swept under the carpet from the past, and you having to deal with that. Very much the blast from the past, and sometimes feeling as though that there was blocking there or limiting going on there. Now this Saturn energy moves away from that area, and from the 17th moves into the next area, which does actually put Saturn in a very strongly supportive angle to your sun sign, Leo. And this can mean that even though, you know, it is Saturn and you have to chip away at things slowly, but this can mean ultimate success if you pay more focused attention to your enterprise, to your creativity, to your innovation, to whatever it is you do in the world, which is empowering, which you get a kick out of, which you get a lot from, which puts you into a space of coming from your core, spontaneity. It's even though it's Saturn, which can be quite heavy and dragging, it's you sticking at something which you know you really enjoy, and you will enjoy more if you get better at it, you see. And it might not be so much like that, or although it might be like that and like this, which is that you're thinking more long-term to do with a creative project, or it might be children and their future. It might be like that, or animals, pets. It could be like that. It could be that you are, you know, getting into a major sort of magnum opus, whatever it is, creative, artistic, and you have to be persevering. It has to slowly chip the shape of what it's going to be. And you Leo is born the 21st to the 23rd of August, or with 22nd to 23rd of July. So the other way, you know. Anyway, and with or with either 28 degrees to the end of the sign rising, or with up to 2 degrees rising. You're going to feel that the energy of Saturn the most, first of all in the rest of Scorpio, and then into Sagittarius. So whatever you create, I find, under a transit of Saturn through this house will stand the test of time in the future. It could be that you're going down a road that seems to have speed bumps every few yards, though, and that you have to overcome a lot in order to achieve it, but achieve it you will if you just keep plugging away. And this is a 2-year transit. And then Jupiter's in your area, the piggy bank. Yeah, because this month Jupiter is opposing Neptune, more or less from the end of the first week. There can be things up in the air, things that are vague or ambiguous about where you stand financially, maybe, or how things are with possessions or property related to that. Just be aware of that. The lunar eclipse happening on the 28th in Aries is in a really good angle to your sun sign for new beginnings, to do with maybe somebody from a different background or a different culture or education. It can be, or you're bringing together in your own mind something that which you can broadcast, which you can publish in some way, and it's a new beginning there. However, the angle, it's always to do with the angle of the dangle, you know. The angle of the moon, of the eclipse of the moon to Saturn on the day of the eclipse will tend to bring the reality in, and how to sort of settle things and how to stabilize things in this area of Jupiter and Neptune, which maybe has left you thinking, well, I don't really know where I stand here, or you know, quite what's going on, or maybe somebody's being elusive or even deceptive, and you're trying to read between the lines, or maybe it's not like that. Maybe you're just plain angry that they when you find out, or maybe it's not like that. Maybe it's you seen as being vacillating or indecisive or something like that. So that energy being around, and you just have to be deliberately look for the clarity and get that confirmation, you know, just try to get that confirmation, and perhaps even, as I've said before, have a plan B, so that if plan A isn't panning out the way you wanted, then plan B probably will. So this area of the piggy bank particularly being affected here, the area of the piggy bank, and maybe somebody else's piggy bank and somebody else's possessions and somebody else's space and somebody else's property. You know, you haven't got the control there, and there is kind of like, oh, you know, how do I prioritize this? Shall I just go straight in, or shall I go round, or how is it going to be with, what are they thinking? Where are they coming from? You know, it can be a little bit confusing. But overall, Jupiter in this long transit here for 1 year will help you, is a good area for Jupiter to be, because it does bring, it brings potential abundance into your area of, your material area of your life. And you can do quite well there, and will help you decide what is of highest priority to you at this stage in your life's journey, what you value the most, what you need materially around you maybe, or what you don't need. That could be a big one there. And you know, am I the one that's in control of these possessions, or are these possessions in control of me? Or maybe somebody related to that, and who's in control here. But in general, Jupiter is going to help you to think positively about basic resources. There could be a real improvement there related to somebody else's resources into your life, somebody almost like picking up the tab in a way, and really giving you that support. It could be like that, or it could be that you just start, there could be better things coming towards you in the pipeline. You feel that more confident and more settled in this area here. Particularly because you are identifying more strongly with what you're doing, you are showing your talents and skills, and you're getting the value put on those talents and skills, and others are really appreciating that and showing their appreciation in a material sort of way. You Leo is born the 25th of July to the 3rd of August, well, with 3 to 11 degrees rising. You're going to feel that energy the most this forecast period. And that's it for September. If you know your rising sign and your moon sign, listen to those, and also the bones of all of this material, apart from the asides, is written up on my website, DianaGarland.com.